Hey everyone, it is Brittany, and I want to welcome you to my channel. For those of you who are new here, I am Brittany, also known as Dreamy Princess XX, and I will have the link to all of my socials in the description. So, a little bit about my channel for those of you who are new. I want to talk about some of my past experiences, some other people's past experiences if they feel free to share or vent. And then also, I want to talk about some of the current events that are happening in the world. And I don't keep up with very much. I try not to add more things that stress me out, but some of it does come out um, that I see like on Facebook or anything along those lines. So we may end up talking about something like that. And then another reason why I made my channel is just to share my drawings with you. I like to draw, and sometimes watching someone else draw in like a time-lapse format really makes you feel comfortable and just relax a little bit. And with everything that's going on in the world, I think relaxing is pretty good. Today's video, we are talking about the words I'm fine. So something that I noticed for my own life and possibly other lives of these following people, we say I'm fine a lot. And today we are talking about millennials and Gen Z. So let's get started. Something that I see is we as millennials and Gen Z have really been through a lot of changes and growth, and with with all of those changes and all of that growth and everything that we've gone through lately and since we've been born, really, I think that we should be coined as the I'm fine generation, because these are some of my experiences and then some of it that I just feel like everyone in our generations have gone through. So there's a lot of times that I was fussed at by my parents, a significant other, my teachers, my mentors, just anyone in general that had some form of authority over me. And their response to my negative reactions was always, "What's wrong? Why are you so upset? Why are you mad? We didn't do anything wrong. Why are you angry about it?" And they're the ones that caused the reaction in the first place by fussing at me for something I feel I didn't deserve to be fussed at for, or telling me that I needed to grow up, or anything along those lines that's just not acceptable. And then after doing some like thinking to myself, I realized a lot of the time that was happening, they were trying to get a bigger or bolder response out of me so that I could get punished more or reprimanded harder than I was in the first place. They wanted to see if I was going to be a feisty little butt so that I could get in more trouble. And after time progressed, I eventually just kind of accepted that I wasn't going to have any say in the world, at least for my own life. So I kind of just accepted it. And anytime that people asked me what was wrong, it's just like, nothing's wrong, I'm fine. Even when there was an entire world crashing on my shoulders, it was always, nothing's wrong, I'm fine. And kind of going into a little bit more about the things that we've had to go through, millennials had to start learning all of the new things that life had to offer, taking a fall that literally none of us were ready for. Considering we had to learn how to use the internet, how to use a computer. Our parents got mad at us if we asked for a cell phone because every Taylor, Sabrina, and Rebecca had a new phone when we entered like middle school. And when we asked for a phone, we would get in trouble because you don't need that. That's not important. And then not even to mention that we were the exploratory generation. We were a feisty exploratory generation. We didn't have normal phone calls. The beeper was gone, so our parents knew something was happening. And everyone got camera phones with multimedia messaging. What do you think was happening? And then, like, the good people that weren't doing it, that weren't sexting for the fun of it, we still got in trouble because, oh, your friends are doing it, so you must be doing it and hiding the evidence. Like, what? I'm going to get very animated, but I'm sorry. So like we went through a lot of changes in a very short amount of time, and I'm only in the younger portion of millennials. So I feel really bad for the older millennials that had to learn more about computers. We had more about phones at a sexually explorative age. Because I was in 7th grade whenever the Razor and like camera phones started coming out. And that was an interesting age. I got in trouble for a lot. And I was scared of my body at that time. So there was nothing I was doing wrong. But considering we were told, like, don't be upset, we had to learn a lot of things. There were changes to the economy that now we have to deal with. The environment is dying. And then, like, we have a right to be upset about it. Like, that's ridiculous. And not to mention, I am so tired of hearing, oh, well, we had a really nice house when we were in our 20s. Why don't you have a nice house? Are you not working hard enough? Like, why don't you have enough money saved up? Were you done with your money? No, it's just freaking expensive to buy a house now. If you haven't been saving since you got out of high school, you can't afford it. Because one, jobs don't pay enough. Two, the money is not there in work. Like, and then you have to pay so much to go to the grocery store. And if you want to have a decent diet, you have to spend so much money. Like, it's unacceptable. And then if that's not the case and you're not being like frowned upon for not having a house and you have children, you're being frowned upon because everybody in the house that can work has a job and your babies are with the babysitter too often, and they're gonna think that the babysitter is their parent, not you, because you're not with them often enough. But the thing is, if both parents aren't working, the likelihood of finding a house that's like a decent price is not really there. We are lucky enough to be living in a family-owned house. We have 2 kids, but we are trying to save up so that within the next year or year and a half that we can afford to buy our own house. And considering everything that's going on right now with coronavirus, neither one of us are able to work. Our jobs, the only way that we're making money right now is by going on like Twitch. That's why we ended up streaming, was because we had nothing to do once the babies were asleep. So we figured might as well try to grind and make some money doing something, because they need us here. We can't afford to pay a babysitter to go out and work. Like, because just babysitters in general, if you have a full-time job but you have to pay a full-time babysitter, it's not worth it. It's not. And then it's just not fair. There's so many noises going on right now. The easiest way to put it, in my opinion, is we don't deserve that. So, if someone were to ask how I'm doing, I'd just say I'm fine. Because I could complain about literally everything that's happening. All of the times I've wanted to just break down, cry and kick and scream and fight back, no one would have listened. Or they would have just said, you know, you need to quiet down. So I think we deserve more than that. But still, all we can say is I'm fine. And I think that it's kind of a bad place to be right now. We were kind of built on a fear of confrontation. We were the generation that was told, like, you're never going to be good enough because you don't have this and you don't have this and you spend too much time doing this. But who was the generation who created it for us? I grew up, my parents gave me just about everything, and I'm absolutely grateful for that. But at the same time, it created an entitlement in me that if I asked for anything, I'd get what I wanted. And eventually, I got into a relationship where every time I asked for something, he would tell me no. And I knew that he was doing it out of a good place, but it would still upset me because I wasn't used to that. And he would eventually start asking, like, what's wrong? And I didn't understand at that time that that's what was bothering me. It took me a while to realize it. But we got to that point where I could say, it's just something that I have to deal with and I'm fine. So again, I'm fine. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you would like to visit me at twitch.tv/dreamyprincessxx or my Instagram, I will have them posted below, as well as the links to both of my email addresses. I have a share email address if you want to be part of a video, and then I also have a vent email address if you would like to just vent to me and get something off your chest. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be as detailed or as vague as you want it. I'm not gonna be specific on what you can and can't give me. If all you want is someone to listen, then I will be that. If you want to have conversations about it, by all means, send me anything that you want to. And I hope that you have a wonderful night and that your week is very wonderful because you all deserve it. And I will see you later, Dream Squad. Bye.